Welcome to Formula Drift. We're here in Irwindale, California, so that we can slay some tires all day long. Now, the cool thing about Formula Drift is it's all about the show. Who can have the most chaotic looking run when they go out for 45 seconds at a time and compete in a top 32 bracket style championship. Today is all about the competition. We're gonna be following some of the Toyota drivers and bringing you up close in the pits, up close in the track, and going a lot of places you wouldn't otherwise be able to go. Hope you guys are ready. So for someone that doesn't know Formula Drift, never heard of it before, maybe they're a casual fan, first time seeing it, what is all this?
So Formula Drift is, to simply put it, it's just basically controlled chaos. Yeah, it's just an adrenaline rush every millimeter of the track, you know. As soon as we get the green light to go on track, we're driving off of pure adrenaline. I mean, who can put off the craziest, most insane-looking run? Yeah, it's just chaos on track, but controlled chaos.
Practice is about as chaotic as the real thing. We got two cars running tandem. Every 45 seconds, they're going through a set of tires, and it's literally tire rubber flying in the air. So Ken's about to start in his first run of the competition in the top 32. Now, how Formula Drift works is you do two different runs per round. One of the runs you're going to lead, and one of the runs you're going to follow in tandem. The judges will decide who has the best run as a combination of those two and decides who gets to advance to the top 16. All right, Ken's going out for his run. He's following in this round, so we're gonna see how he does. He's rounding the far outside. It looks good right now. They've been stressing all day to make sure that this car functions right, and it's looking good. Phenomenal. That was a really good run.
Ken Gushi out front. Got the clean air. He's got that 2J power plant. He's feeling a lot more confident. And Kazuya Taguchi right there to the side. Oh, we got contact. Kazuya Taguchi gets to the side of Gushi, but he keeps on keeping on. So again, an aggressive Kazuya Taguchi that might have ended up biting him. And look at Gushi, unfazed, absolutely unaffected, but Kazuya trying to push him around an up garage ISR performance vehicle. But Gushi, dude, like flicking a mosquito off him, man. Said, nope, not today.
So Ken just finished his run. I'm literally covered in pieces of his tires. That was a good follow run because the vehicle that was in tandem actually clipped him in the first couple seconds and I think hit one of the pylons that might be a penalty. So it's looking good for Ken right now. We're gonna pay attention to the board because in real time, we're gonna find out if he does advance to the next 16.
There it is, and couldn't agree more. Kenshiro Gushi gets the win. It is Andretti Matti's Toyota GR86.
So that's a unanimous vote from the judges to make sure that Ken advances. We knew that was a good looking run. Even better that the guy in tandem had a couple penalties against him. So Ken is set up for success. He's moving on to the top 16. You're obviously with Toyota. Talk to me about that relationship, how they supported your racing career here at Formula Drift.
Yeah, well, my partnership with Toyota is gonna actually take me back way before I was actually a sponsored driver with the team. Just growing up, my father was a huge fanatic of motorsports and specifically Toyota vehicles. My first youngest memory of Toyota products was watching a Japanese anime called Initial D. A 1986 or A86 Corolla drifts through the canyons in Japan delivering tofu. The funny story is, at the time, I was about 11, 12 years old, and my father had an A86 at his repair shop. So he was like, hey, let's try this whole rally drifting thing at an open, dry lake bed. I got behind the wheel, instantly fell in love with the car, with the driving. Now, fast forward to 2007, I got a call from one of my buddies who works at RSR. He said, hey, I got an offer for you. It's with a company called Scion. And he said, well, they're trying to get into drift. But at the time, Scion didn't have any rear-wheel drive vehicles. It was all front-wheel drive. So I asked them, okay, so how are we gonna make this happen with the front-wheel drive? They're like, okay, well, it's gonna be a Scion TC, and we're gonna make it rear-wheel drive for you. I said, I'm on. If that means I can get my way into the brand, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'll be the first driver ever to convert a front-wheel drive to a rear-wheel drive. Yeah, competed in that car for 3-4 years until they said, you know what? Scion's actually coming out with the rear-wheel drive, and it's gonna be called the FRS.
Yeah.
It's gonna pay homage to the original A86. I'm like, that's crazy.
Right, yeah.
That's insane because I started in A86. It's come full circle I'm a driver for Scion and Toyota, driving in a car that's supposed to pay homage to A86. A lot of trophies, made it all the way up to second place in the championship, right behind Frederick Osbo, who's my Toyota teammate. We won in that FRS here at Irwindale in 19, so I have a lot of memories with the FRS and Andretti. But then in 2016, going into 17, Scion said, hey, we're actually gonna close up the brand. It's gonna be all under the Toyota Racing family or the Toyota Racing umbrella. That's cool. That just means I become what I've always dreamt of, being a factory Toyota driver. Ever since 2007, I've been with the brand. Not just a dream come true, but I'm still living that dream.
When you go out and put on that show we've talked about, I'm sure it's not just about, flooring it, hitting it, and then taking a right or left turn. Like, there's got to be some level of finesse here. Like, talk to me about that.
There is. I mean, it's as much as it seems like it's chaotic and out of control. I mean, there's a lot of finesse involved. I mean, you can't steer the car too much in one direction, otherwise you're gonna oversteer the car into the bank or into the wall. Staying on the throttle a bit too long can get you off course. So you have to be really fine in like your steering inputs, your throttle inputs, your braking inputs, and everything has to be felt within the body. So you feel the tire grip on the road. That part of the game is all finesse, while trying to make it as chaotic as possible.
The sun has gone down. The vibe is a little bit different. It's nighttime, which means neon lights come on, and the stands are completely packed right now. We have all 16 cars lined up. They're introducing some of the drivers again, and the stakes are a little bit higher because as we enter the top 16, that will dwindle down quickly to 8, and then 4 and 2, and then our champion.
Yeah. Hey, how are we feeling for round 16?
Good. I mean, battle that means the most is a 32. Once you get into the 16, it's just all about having fun and making no mistakes and keeping it clean. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. That's how we won back in 2019, so try to repeat that.
Gushi having a hard time, kind of a failure to launch on that second outside zone. Oh, there he goes, banks into the door, straightens out. Ken Gushi, let's see how he initiates. Again, it seemed like he goes to initiate and it just does not get out there. And it looks like Jeff Jones is gonna get the win after an unfortunate mistake by Kenshiro Gushi.
Unfortunately, Ken won't be advancing past this round. While he had a really good run when he was leading, not as good as one when he was falling, and that unfortunately cost him all 3 judges' decisions. You had a run, probably didn't pan out the way that we all wanted to, but talk to me.
I mean, I came into Irwindale with high hopes. We brought in a lot of support from overseas, and it's pretty rare to have so many challenges in one weekend. I mean, I barely got any practice time yesterday. Managed to make it through the top 32 battles, but we hit a wall. We need the top 16, not literally, but figuratively.
Yeah, it's definitely a testament to your team, though, because I mean, this car went down several times, and you were still back out on the track constantly, So
yeah, I mean, our motto is to never give up. My team definitely gave it their all. I literally had the easy job, put the car out on track and do my best. So we'll be back stronger next year with obviously the support of my biggest supporter, Toyota Gazoo Racing. I mean, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be out.
You know what? You've been doing this a long time. You're not going anywhere anytime soon.
No, I'm not.
And we spent all day talking to people that were saying Ken Gushi's our favorite driver. So you got a lot of people back, and you've got a lot of different places. What do you love the most about Formula Drift?
Just exciting.
Badass.
Awesome.
Thrilling. Controlled chaos.
Really? Everybody's saying that.
It's just exciting.
Exciting?
Yeah, adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
I feel like drifting always comes from like a lot of culture, so I feel like there always that sense of nostalgia. Yeah, nostalgic.
So talk to me about the culture. Obviously, you've been in this game for a long time. What have you seen, and where do you see it going?
So when I first saw drifting for the first time, and it was a bunch of kids driving their street cars, in parking lots, driving their drift cars to shows, stock cars with maybe some kind of wheels lowered, and that was a drift car. Nowadays, you need 1,000 horsepower, you need big, fat, wide tires, purpose-built competition vehicles. So, I mean, I honestly would have never imagined that drifting would make it this far.
Ken, you're signing like 1 million posters here.
Yes.
Talk to me about your fans. How important are they to you?
I mean, the fans here at Formula Drift, they're pretty much what makes us who we are. Without them, I wouldn't have a career. Everything we do is pretty much for the fans.
So you guys are here at a Formula Drift event. How did you hear about Formula Drift?
I actually got into cars because of FD. I used to follow this driver who's still in FD today. His name's Ken Gushi.
Oh, really?
So that was my favorite driver, still is.
So FD is actually one of the first motorsports events I went to, and it's just bringing a lot of memories back to me. So that's why I really enjoy this event.
How do these fans compare to maybe other automotive sport? What makes Formula Drift fans special?
Well, the special thing about Formula Drift is the fact that we have an open pit concept where fans can get up and close with the drivers and the cars.
Right.
We're pretty much accessible all the time at the venue, and that's unheard of at other racing series where the drivers are pretty much secluded from fan engagement.
Yeah.
But here at Formula Drift, I mean, fans are everything.
So we've mentioned open pit before. This is the pit. Any fan is allowed to come through here. And it's a little bit chaotic because you have cars that have problems on the track. They come zipping down here at full speed. They'll get fixed and then go right back out on the track. So if you're a fan walking around, eating some snacks, hanging out, you better be heads up because cars are revving and flying past you and getting repaired at the same time.
But if you think about it, the culture of drifting is like you don't have to be a car fan to enjoy drifting.
Right.
You can come to a drifting event and watch the chaos on track and be like, oh my God, that's insane.
Right.
How do these guys do that?
Universal
And that's kind of
language.
what drew me to the sport in the first place was, I was a fan of cars, but then I saw drift, I'm like, they make these cars do what? It just keeps evolving. Every year, the competition gets more fierce. We're closer to the walls, we're tighter in tandem, and the cars just get crazier and crazier. So hopefully, what I thought back 20 years ago, I can look ahead 20 years and see that the sport is still around and still growing.
Hey, Ken, someone that's done this a long time, thank you so much for giving us all these great answers.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that is a wrap for Formula Drift and the whole FD season right here in Irwindale, California. Huge shout out to Toyota and Ken Gushi for letting us be a part of his journey. He has a long history in FD, and we got to see a little bit of the behind the scenes, his vehicle up close to the action where the tires are literally falling out of the sky on top of us. And of course, a huge shout out to the fans that make FD possible. This is really a unique sport with all the organized chaos, and it really was chaotic right up until the very end here. We hope to see you guys in the final episode of this series at NHRA.